Well, many things. I came here with an ambition to strengthen our commercial ties, because I think there is work to be done in that regard. There is still a lot of work on that front to be done, but I have tried to put some of my efforts into strengthening the trade relationship and the business relationship between our two countries. But that job is far from done. I've spent a lot of time also on the development partnership between Ethiopia and Norway. Ethiopia is one of the biggest development partners of Norway globally, and working in many different areas. I would highlight two areas where we are big supporters of Ethiopia. It's in climate and forestry, where we more concretely support the Green Legacy Initiative of the Prime Minister. And I would like to commend Ethiopia for its work in that regard. And education is another area that is very important to us, and of course key to the future of Ethiopia, where we also have worked diligently. We've also worked with the Ethiopian government on trying to support peace efforts, both here and in the region. We have a strong cooperation with Ethiopia on the global scene through the UN, for example. So it's been a very broad range of issues. And then, of course, as an embassy, I'm here also to support my citizens, so consular issues are also part of my portfolio. And ultimately, it's about strengthening the relations and the understanding between our two countries, and I've tried my best at doing that.
When I went to the Norwegian school here, in the 8th grade, we had some sort of practice that we could go to different type of companies or organizations, and I got a chance to spend a bit more than a week at Arvamins Hospital. And that week, working together with the doctors and the nurses, or not working, but I mean observing, it did something with me. I was touched in the way that I decided that I want to become a doctor, and if it was the will of God, that I could come back and work in Ethiopia. And one of the toughest patient stories that I met in Arvamins at that time was actually when I was sitting in the OPD, the outpatient department, together with one of the doctors. It was a 7-month pregnant lady that came with both her ears in her hands. And it was terrifying to see it. And then she told me that she had been quarreling with her husband, and she was trying to run away from him. And then she climbed up in a tree, and he came afterwards, after her. And up in the tree, he was biting off both of the ears. And she came to the hospital 2 days late with these ears and asked if we could do something. Of course, it was too late, but she was one of the people that I met that really made me decide to go for medicine. And even if we could not help her, I saw a lot of things that with the medical skills, we could heal people, we could relieve pain, and we could also be into palliation for patients that are suffering. So that touched my heart, and it has been there since. And when I finished and graduated from the high school, and when I was applying for my medical school, I filled out the application. And at that time, it was not email, it was you had to put it in the mailbox. And before I dropped it in the mailbox, I said to God, God, if you want me to use it in Ethiopia, you let me in. And I joined the medical school, and I have tried to stick to that promise. And after the Second World War, in 1948, the Emperor Haile Selassie, he invited Norwegian organizations to come to Ethiopia. And he said, we need education, we need health, and we need someone to help us to build up modern infrastructure. So there has been a lot of engagements since the late 40s. Mission organization, the Norwegian Navy was here to train officers for the Ethiopian Navy. There is a lot of business people during the years, and there is diplomacy that has been developing over the years as well. And all these people that have been in Ethiopia for a shorter or longer period of time, they have been very attached to this country. It's a wonderful country in so many ways, a country full of resources, full of human resources, it's full of natural resources, and you have a unique culture. And I think Ethiopia, because of the history, has got a big place in many Norwegian people's heart.
One of my favorites was Dublin. We have traveled to Dublin. In Dublin, the president's wife opened the show. When she opened the show, what else can you ask? Everything went pretty good, but it was promoted well. So we really showed the art. Sabina Higgins was the president's wife who opened the show. The anchor woman of the biggest station, TV station, was the one emceeing the show. And you know, so we were really, we did a good job, and we promoted, this is 2015. And because of that, some of the artists you see, some of the artists you see did very well and got known. And we've been promoting them so far. Shoan Gizau, I haven't seen. His paintings was really started from there, I believe. He has been working a lot, but we promoted Ethiopian artists well. So it was a pleasure to do that. Before that, we have gone to Atlanta, Washington, D.C., Ethiopians and African Americans. But in Norway, the difference was there were people who were Norwegians who were born in Ethiopia, Norwegians who lived in Ethiopia. There were so many of them invited by the Norwegian ambassador, plus the Norwegian hospital. And it was a pleasure meeting them, and I had the pleasure of meeting some of the people who have been working in Ethiopia, and they're in their 80s now, who started working with Mosvold, now it's Ethio something. But I met with them, and it was a pleasure. We meeting people and telling us their stories in Ethiopia, what they were born, and in their passports. It would show Norwegian passport, born in Ethiopia. That was a pleasure meeting those people. And we believe we can do a good job of creating a connection with Ethiopia and Norway. The people I have seen, we can learn a lot from them, and they can learn from Ethiopia too. They have learned from Ethiopia. They have lived in Ethiopia. They were born in Ethiopia too, some of them. So with missionaries, but they have done a good job too. So it was a pleasure meeting individuals who have been in Ethiopia for a long time.
It's really important to highlight the importance of the missionaries that came here towards the end of the 1940s and who stayed here and are still here, but in smaller numbers today, and did a lot of development work in the health sector and in the education sector, primarily in the south of the country. And I think I cannot stress enough that these are really the real ambassadors of Norway, who have done so much more than I have and maybe my predecessors in terms of strengthening the bilateral relations between our two countries, strengthening the understanding and the knowledge of our two countries. So I would really like to commend them, and of course that is part of why this exhibition in Norway came about. The owner of this gallery, Johannes, and his knowledge of Norwegians, and his desire to want to go to Norway as a thank you to Norway for our efforts here. And this exhibition, which was his work, and I really want to commend him for that, really also with the turnout in Norway sort of showed the Norwegian connection to Ethiopia by the presence and the participation of so many Norwegians at the exhibition, and of course many actually also bought beautiful paintings like the ones we see around us. So there's a lot of Ethiopian art now in many new Norwegian homes, and which is a further sort of strengthening of the people-to-people relations and Norwegian understanding of this beautiful country.
And we know that art is something that is bringing people together, and art is also something that is totally indifferent about for religion, for culture, for ethnicity, and what type of social stigma you have. Art is something that people just enjoy. And the art that I have seen at Makush during the last 17, 18 years that I have been in touch with Nati and the team here, I thought that this is wonderful and should be exposed also outside Ethiopia to Norway and to Scandinavia. And that is actually why I wanted to promote it very much, because I think this is a very good way to strengthen the relationship between Norway and Ethiopia. And I mean, there is a lot of tension on different levels that we face every day, but art is a sort of a peaceful thing that can unite people, and that's actually why I thought let us try it and see how it works.
This was my first trip to Norway in my life, and what I saw was with the Christianity of Ethiopia and their Christianity, we have a lot in common. And with the tourism, we already have, what I have seen is the older people in their 80s. They have been living there and we have worked in Ethiopia. And for them, we should kind of promote with Ethiopian Airlines, especially on the slow seasons, and their winter is very, very bad over there. So in their winter time, December, Christmas, things like that, we should really promote giving them. One example I would like to quote is just as a suggestion is, if they say they were born in Ethiopia, they should get 50% off Ethiopian Airlines. That's a good promotion, I believe, and we should try to bring the older, but then we should try to get the new generation. And we have about 3 generations of Norwegians I have met who have been in Ethiopia. So we should promote for them, with them, and when people are talking about Ethiopia, they hear. And then Ethiopia will be a destination, a tourist destination, especially in the Christmas time. And we can have nice packages for them, especially, Ethiopia is 13 months of sunshine, and it's a beautiful country, beautiful weather, and we can really advertise that, especially in their winter time, and we can do a lot for that. So I would really appreciate Ethiopian Airlines connecting with the hotels, packaging, a good deal, advertisement at the first, then it will come. So I would love to suggest that.
You know, I think beyond what we are already doing, what I mentioned before, I think events like what Nati just did in Oslo is exactly the way forward. We need, you know, to go beyond the newspaper headlines to build an understanding among Norwegians, and that is my task, an understanding of what Ethiopia really is, its history, its culture, its diversity, its present, its landscape, its beauties. So we have to do more people-to-people events, and I'm certainly an ambassador of Ethiopia towards Norwegians as well, and I do whatever I can. One element is trying to support this exhibition, but I would really like to support more things like this to open the eyes of the Norwegians to Ethiopia. We are fortunate enough now to have a direct flight with Ethiopian Airlines every day, going from Oslo to Addis, of course, in both directions. And I really, we try to use our social media to inform about Ethiopia and what's going on. So I think jointly with our Ethiopian friends and partners, we just really have to look at ways of building a broader understanding of what Ethiopia really is. You know, I want to use the occasion to commend Nati and his gallery for his commitment to his country, Ethiopia, his commitment to Ethiopian artists, as we see around us here, and his commitment, you know, as an ambassador of Ethiopia. And I think the Ethiopian authorities, I'm sure they recognize it, but I want to stress that they should recognize it, and Ethiopian citizens should recognize the importance of the work he's doing externally to market his country across the world. And it's impossible to set a figure on the value of that, but again, you know, this is exactly the way forward to build bridges between countries through art. And I think the exhibition in Oslo was a case in point, through the turnout of Norwegians and how touched they were by the art, which puts a picture, many pictures, to what Ethiopia is and was, is, and will be. And so just a big congratulations to him, thank you to him, and I think we all should join in thanking him for that work.
The Ethiopian culture is quite unique, and you have a lot of values in your culture that we in the Western countries have lost on the way. And I really have been advocating for coming to Ethiopia to experience the culture and experience the hospitality and experience the welcoming of tourists or those who come from abroad to work here, to feel that, because it is quite unique. Historical wise, I mean, there are so many historical places that you can visit in the country. There is so much wonderful nature that you can see, and we hope that the security will improve in the country, and I'm sure as soon as the security is under control, the tourism will bloom also in Ethiopia, because there are so many untouched, unseen areas for tourists that I really hope that foreigners can come and enjoy. What I think I will like to conclude is that after all these years here, I have seen a lot of suffering and a lot of things that could have been done differently. But since I came back as a doctor, I always wish the best for Ethiopia. And Ethiopia and Ethiopians, they deserve the very best, in whatever field it is. I am into a medical field and the health service, and I really hope that we can see that the health services will improve, because Ethiopia, as I said, they deserve it in so many ways. And the culture is unique, the mindset of the people is wonderful, and the hospitality is very, very unique in a global setting.
Thank you very much. Ethiopian tourism has helped us a lot, and we really would like to say thank you. At the same time, Norwegian Medical Center, Dr. Shell, who have done a good job of helping us for our show in Norway, and the ambassador of Norway has really promoted us. We would like to say thank you for that, especially for the Ethiopian Tourism Ministry for their all assistance. And we're happy, and we will try to continue our, promoting Ethiopian artists.
Makush Art Gallery, through its tireless efforts, is not just selling paintings. They are selling a piece of Ethiopia. They are contributing significantly to the nation's economy, generating much-needed foreign currency through the international sales and exhibitions. More importantly, they are cultivating a deeper global understanding and appreciation for Ethiopia's rich artistic legacy and dynamic present. From nurturing local talent to orchestrating impactful international exhibitions, Makush Art Gallery stands as a beacon illuminating Ethiopia's cultural richness for the world to see. They embody the spirit of Explore Ethiopia, reminding us that art is a powerful ambassador capable of creating connections that transcend borders and foster a profound sense of shared humanity. Join us next time as we continue to explore the wonders of our beautiful nation, Ethiopia.
Interesting. Well, viewers, this concludes our today's Explore Ethiopia that we have conducted here in Addis Ababa as the heart of the capital around Bole at Makush Gallery, because the owner of this gallery, in collaboration with the Embassy of Norwegian, traveled to Norway recently at Oslo City and hosted an exhibition and showcases Ethiopian artists. We have shown up all that process. Thank you very much indeed, and we really appreciate and commend all stakeholders for promoting Ethiopia's tourism to the rest of the world. This wrap up our today's episode. I hope you have enjoyed the program. I am Wagayo Mulele. Do stay with the rest of Ethiopian Broadcasting Corporation latest program. Goodbye.